Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Nathan podcast. I'm here today with special guest Nathan. He is the star of many award-winning shows such as The Life of Nathan and The Nathan Cells. Nathan, welcome to the show. We're happy to have you here. No, thank you. I'm happy to be here. All right. So one of my first questions that me and my listeners will be interested in is what is the favorite role that you've done in any of your TV shows or movies? Ooh, that is such a hard question. If I'm being completely honest, this is one of my this is one of my more, or what's the term? Not popular TV shows that I've been on. But Nathan in The Life of Nathan is fucking phenomenal. I loved that character. I felt like I could relate so much to him. For the listeners that haven't heard, The Life of Nathan is a show about a 30 to 25-year-old man. It doesn't really say, but I envision him as a 30 to 25-year-old man who's trying to break out of his shell of awkwardness and become more like extroverted and more outgoing when it comes to women. What was it that made you so attached to that character? Oh, when I was younger, I had so much trouble talking to women, especially in my 20s and 30s. Oh my god, I was awful. I remember I would just go to a bar and literally just I would sit on the bar stool just waiting for a woman to talk to me. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm not the most attractive person on the universe, in the universe. And a good majority of the time, it just didn't happen. Really? I actually thought you were more good looking. Well, yeah, after I got my teeth fixed, you could probably find photos of it online, but I was fucking terrible. My teeth were awful. They were all jagged. It looked like I had been chewing on rocks all of my childhood. That's very interesting. Okay, my second question that me and my listeners wanted to ask you is about method acting. What are some ways that method acting has impacted your life, Mr. Nathan? Oh, God. One of my films, The Werewolves of Nathan Forest, I actually, not very many people know this, but I, essentially role-played as a wolf for, 3 to 4 days. This is when I lived in, a college dorm, just a very small place, and I would just have, my roommate, I don't know, bring home, a rotisserie, one time he brought home a rotisserie chicken, and I would just, put it on the floor and eat it, and that's how I practiced to be a werewolf. Wow, I can't believe your roommate even put up with. I know, right? I don't know how I didn't get kicked out of. I did some terrible stuff. Oh, elaborate on that. What do you mean by terrible stuff? With the wolf thing, I would practice my howling at 2 or 3 a.m. because that's when the moon was out. Okay. Yeah, I'm not a furry, but I swear to God. Oh my God. I was actually I would go to parties a lot because it would almost every single time you would go to a party in college or high school, you would not very many people knew me, and I would try and put on a different mask every single time. Some parts of the day I would be oh, I'm really extroverted. I'm this super awesome, amazing guy. And then sometimes I would be a little more shy and reserved and sit in the corner of the party and just try and take it all in. Wow, that's very interesting. When I was in high school, all I did was study pretty much. Oh, yeah. School has been awful for me. I never succeeded in high school or middle school. I pretty much, all of high school, I either got D's or C's. C's, D's, B's. I can't remember a single time I got an A. Oof. Okay. Okay, my third question that me and my listeners would like to ask you: what are some movies and shows that you would recommend? We would like to get an actor's opinion on some of these. Oh, honestly, hands down, one of my favorite movies just ever is The Cube. It's pretty, like, I don't know if underground is the right term, but it's very unpopular. Yeah, I've never heard of that. What's the plot and stuff? Okay, so it's these like 6 or 7 people that are trapped in a cube. They don't know how they got there, and pretty much the entirety of the movie is just them speculating. They never say what happens, and it's just this amazing film about these people slowly losing their grip on their sanity and what it's like to be outside and missing material possessions and just slowly watching them like go into madness, I suppose. Wow. Oh, that sounds interesting. What year was it made? Oh, I want to say early 2000s or late 1990s. It's a pretty old film. It was on like a shoestring budget, and it was just, oh, it's so good. You just gotta watch it. Yeah, I suppose so. Is there any TV shows? Um, I'm gonna be honest, I'm not a big fan of TV shows. I feel like at least the good ones, they start out like really good, and then like by season 2 or season 3, I just get bored of it. I have to like keep pumping out something fresh every single time. And that's why most of the shows that I act in only go on for like 2 or 3 seasons, because I feel the character and the situations are getting stale. Okay. What are some of your hobbies that you do other than acting and performing? Okay. Um, Recently a TV show called The Queen's Gambit came out. Oh, yeah, I've seen that. It was really good. Oh my god, it's amazing. I really like that show. I should have mentioned that in the shows and movies. But the entire plot of the show, if you haven't seen it, is just this girl becoming a grandmaster. It's this really good piece on like feminism and just, oh, it's so good. But I recently got into chess after that. I'm still pretty bad, but I'm rating 700, which is basically like beginner. Oh, do you see yourself pursuing chess? Um, Honestly, no, not professionally. I'm really only doing it for fun because, quarantine, I can't really, act as much because of the coronavirus and stuff. Yeah. Well, chess is probably like really popular now because of quarantine and people like, just sitting around doing nothing. Yeah, I read an article the other day about how it was being on the rise, and because of the movie The Queen's Gambit, it just exploded in popularity. So I was one of those people that were mesmerized by the TV show and started getting into it. Yeah, it's not hard to see why. It's a really good show. Okay, now we're getting into some of the more juicy questions. What are your biggest motivations when it comes to acting? Oh, Aubrey Plaza. She is a phenomenal actor. She's so interesting to just her movies and TV shows. She starred in like Parks and Recreation and Child's Play. She is amazing at what she does. She's conveys so much raw emotion in her characters, and she's more like, a lot of people would associate her as being more of an awkward character or a more outlandish kind of person that you would want if there is like an awkward, character in your play or your movie. But even in like Child's Play, she doesn't perform as an awkward character. She's very emotional in that movie and very motherly because she plays the role of a mom. Yeah. Is there anybody else that you would consider to be an inspiration to you in the acting world? Oh God, I'm gonna get really into this one. Even as a child, I was never really one to like look up to other people. I never had a father, so I never really had a, like, fatherly figure to look up to. So I try not to, because I feel like I'm pretty positive I'm autistic. I'll develop an like obsession with them, and it gets bad. For a period in middle school, I would just constantly get obsessed with a new person every single day, and it got bad. So after that, I stopped trying to look up to people and just try and follow my own path. Oh, that's very interesting. So you never had a father. Let's talk about that. Did you ever have a fatherly role? Not someone you looked up to in life, but someone to, you know, give you advice, teach you how to shave. Honestly, no, I never did. I learned how to shave from my mom, and yeah, a big inspiration to me, I did have a fatherly figure. A big inspiration to me was I was a swimmer in high school, and there was a swim coach, and he tried to push me and become like a better person by trying to, elevate my grades or trying to just help me be a good person. That's very interesting. So how did you get into acting? Were you always did you always consider acting to be interesting or something that you wanted to pursue, or was it something you learned later on in life? I've always been into acting. I performed my first play in third grade. I was it was like one of those history plays you used to see. I was a voyager, and the play was, oh God, I forgot what it was called. That sucks. But, Oh, Michigan, My Michigan. That was it. Oh, Michigan, My Michigan. It just went along the history of the United States of America. And it was narrated by, like, George Washington and people like that. So it was more of like it wasn't really a play, it was just a history kind of thing. Oh, yeah, it was not entertaining, it was literally just like, it was about as entertaining as like a college slideshow. Oh. So, after third grade, how did you get into acting, or did you always like it in third grade, or did you find it boring? I think in third grade I found it okay. Like, it was just one of those things that I didn't care about. The entire class did it. I was kind of forced into it. I was just okay with it. And then after that, my mother, God bless her, in fourth grade, she pushed me to perform in a show called, I forgot. But I remember it was performed on October 17th. That's my birthday. And it was basically just a bunch of spooky stories all wrapped into one, and it was being played by a youth theater, so there was like little like 7 or 8-year-old me playing along with people that were like 16, 17. I didn't think I had a single line in that. I just think I was just on stage for some of the time. Oh yeah, if only they knew how like talented you were. Oh, back then, I was so awkward. Like, I don't think I made a single friend doing that acting thing in the youth theater. Oh, I remember I would just sit in the corner and rip a Beyblade into, like, the wall. Oh my God, really? Yeah, zero friends. I was so lame. Has there ever been a role that you've been uncomfortable playing? Oh my God, yeah. I'm Native American, as most people know, and for a lot of my scenes, there have been people that say, like, will hit me up and they'll be like, "Hey, can you do a Native American accent in this? We're looking for we're looking for a role where we have to do a Native American accent," and almost every single time it like pains me to my core when I do a Native American accent, because it's just like, for one, I can barely do it. I'm very bad at it. And two, it's like, I don't know. It feels a little racist. Yeah. I can see how that would be racist and how that would make you uncomfortable. Have you ever taken a role in one of your films where you had to do one? Yeah, one time I had to do a Native American accent in one of my films, and oh, excuse me. I had to do a Native American accent in one of my films, and it was a very bad film. I wasn't even a main character. I was there for like 2 or 3 scenes. It just, God, it was bad. I barely could do anything with it, and this was when I was still pretty underground. How did you become such a popular actor? How did you get into the acting business? Oh God, I first started acting. When I started applying for my first acting gigs and jobs, I was waiting tables at an Applebee's actually, and I would just, you know, perform like at an Applebee's, where I would like, because every new table is a different chance to try and like be better, like just be a better person or be a worse person or be really outgoing or be really shy or like fuck up their order on purpose and then try and be really apologetic afterwards or just, be a waiter. And every single person that I met, I tried to put on a new face or a new yeah, just a new face overall.